What's up, YouTube? It's Diary of an Emo Girl. Welcome back to the channel. We have many experiences in life, but nothing compares to your first times. Your first kiss, your first crush, your first time getting drunk. I think the title was a little misleading. Sounds a little scandalous, but I promise you this is going to be PG-13. Sort of. Some things I did at 13 maybe a 13-year-old shouldn't have been doing. But nonetheless, let's get into the video. My first crush. My first crush was named John. Such a generic name. Okay. John. I'm so sorry, John. In first grade. I was absolutely obsessed with him. Perhaps because he looked like Justin Bieber. He had the side swoop bang. Remember I got like a picture with him and it literally looked like I was taking a photo with the celebrity because of how excited I was. I was literally going like this.
Like, do you see? I'm with him, you guys. I'm with him.
We had one play date. Somehow convinced my mom to coordinate with his mom to have a play date, which is kind of crazy considering we were in first grade. Did boys and girls have like play dates at that age? I don't know. I don't have a lot of memories from childhood, but I do remember that. I don't know why I specifically remember his mom cleaning the house a bunch and us just running around and doing God knows what, and I think I was freaking him out because of how excited I was that I was at his house. Flash forward to next year, his mom was really stoked to find out that I was not in John's class. First crush or first obsession? I clearly have never known the difference. My first friend was named Haley. She's still my friend to this day. I actually just saw her for her bridal shower, which was awesome. I met her when I was 3 years old and I was actually learning how to ride a bike. All I remember, and the story that our parents have told ever since, was that I was riding my bike and she looked at me and we both pointed at each other and she said,
Friend.
I go,
Friend.
and the rest was history. We became best friends.
Here it goes, I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare.
Oh, and I didn't learn how to ride a bike ever since. Still don't know how to ride a bike to this day. I guess I'll never move to Amsterdam. My first kiss with my Jesse McCartney poster? That doesn't count. My first kiss was actually in McDonald's. Inside the little like indoor playground, you know? In the slides or something. So romantic, right? I don't even really remember if it was like a dare or what. I had to have been about 10. Was the kiss any good? No. I don't even remember what he looks like. Sad. My first time getting in trouble at school. Elementary school, I was a part of like a little daycare. I remember there was a worker at the daycare and she had told me, no cell phones are allowed. Ever since then, I made it a mission to make her life a living hell. Every day I made sure to whip out my sidekick and text on my cell phone in front of her. So I've ditched school twice. One in my daycare, it's not really school, but you get what I mean. And the second time in high school. So I'll tell you both stories. Was in third grade at daycare. Me and my best friend Angelina, who was a terrible influence on me. I remember we were just sitting there. We were really bored at lunch. And I was like, hey.
What would happen if we just left right now?
You guys ever had that sort of experience when you're a kid and you realize you have free will and you're gonna execute it in the worst way possible? That was basically what happened. I was just kind of curious. Let's fuck around and find out. What would happen if we just escaped right now? Can we escape? Turns out we were able to escape and we walked to the Trader Joe's across the street. And when we got there, we were like, well, what now? And so we sat on the sidewalk until my mom called me and said, what the f are you doing? And basically said, I got a call from the daycare, you're gonna get kicked out. And it actually is funny because I would have gotten kicked out if I hadn't moved. My daycare workers hated me. They were so ready to kick me out. They were stoked, I'm sure, that I was leaving. The second story was in high school. I decided to ditch. And what did me and my friends decide to do? Well, we didn't party, we didn't do any crazy adventure, we didn't go on some road trip. No, we just stayed at our friend's house all day and stole some bottles from Target. I didn't steal them, my friends did. They were very experienced and I was like, whoa dude, are you sure about this? They're like, yeah, we do it all the time. They stuffed it in their sweatshirts. So bad, really bad, don't recommend this. This is just for entertainment purposes only. All right, let's just say that. So yeah, we had called up the school and we pretended to be our parents, calling out our kid. But it was sort of easy to get away with. But then we did it a second time and the school caught on. Which leads me to my next one. My first time getting domed and stoned. My first time smoking a cigarette. Unfortunately, a lot of kids did it in high school. It was the cool thing to do. It was with my best friend Stephanie, and we were not inhaling. I think maybe we had posted like a dumb video of it. Somebody said, "You're not inhaling." And I was like, "Hey Steph."
If we're gonna do this, we gotta do it the real way.
She's like, "All right, let's give it a whirl." So I remember we sat on a curb, lit that cigarette, and we inhaled for the first time. I remember being like,
Dude, I know what it feels like to be domed. This is crazy.
such a bad idea. Thank God I do not smoke anymore. My first time getting stoned. All I remember is taking a little candy, getting up from my bed, and freaking the hell out, running out the door, thinking I died. I literally thought I was a floating spirit, and that this was it. I was thinking in my head about my mom, my dad, and all the people I loved, and thought, wow, it's over. I died. My body felt so light, everything just felt so strange that I literally thought I died. And then all I remember is running down the alleyway and my neighbor seeing me, and I go, "You can see me?" And she said, "Are you okay, kid?" And I said, "The edibles." She was like, "Whoa, let's get you inside." All I remember is I saw like a picture of Jesus on the wall and was like, "Can you guys pray for me right now?" And so they stood around in a circle and prayed for me. And then I remember being really thirsty. I was just like, I got that cotton mouth and I was like, "Please give me water." For some weird reason, and this is what makes the entire trip very fever dreamish, was she fed me a spoonful of sugar and started singing to me. "Just a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down." Yeah, I'm not kidding, that actually happened. Don't know to this day why she did that, why she thought it was funny, maybe she was messing with me, but like what was the point of a spoonful of sugar? I remember the next day going to school and I was still high. My PE teacher called my mom and said, your kid is stoned. Her eyes are super red. Maybe don't send your kid stoned to school." Turns out my mom was gone for that week. So that's why that all happened. Sorry, Mom. My first job was at Subway. I maybe worked there for 2 days and then got fired. I had to study the recipes outside of work, which is really not cool because I'm not getting paid. Day 2, the boss walks in and I'm like, oh no. He walks right up to me and he goes, "Kaylin."
Have you been studying your recipes?
And I go, "Yeah."
How do you make the Italian BMT and the cold cut combo?
And I said, "I only studied some of them, and those ones I didn't, so I don't remember." Yeah, that wasn't good. He was pissed. And then things got worse because I didn't know how to make a meatball sandwich and I put too much of the sauce on there and made the sandwich soggy. And my coworker literally went like this, "Move." That was traumatizing, not gonna lie. And then basically I got sent to the back to do dishes because, well, I was useless. I started to cry as I'm doing the dishes and thinking, is this really my life? At Subway, I can't even make a sandwich right? To make matters worse, she walks back there and she sees me tearing up. I'm trying to be discreet about it. And so then after my shift, I get a call from my boss and I was thinking, oh, maybe he's here to console me. You know what he said? He said, I heard that you cried. I don't think you're ready for this job. I wish you the best. And fired me. My first time driving a car. This one's actually really cute. My first time driving was with my boyfriend at the time. His name was Ben. And Ben allowed me to drive his super cool car. It was a 1969 Volkswagen. The fact that I could say that that's the first car I've ever driven is pretty damn cool. And well, I didn't really drive it for that long. I drove it around the neighborhood, maybe circled the block until he said, all right, we're going back home. I hope you guys enjoyed this YouTube video. If you did, make sure to give it a like, comment down below, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. See you later, alligator.